Well, hello and welcome to I Love Gay today. And this is unique. This is special. This is our very first show that we've done in conjunction with someone. Now we're in Birmingham in the UK, John Godbold from Tales of the Second City. How are you?
I'm really good, thank you.
Well,
A little bit bleary-eyed from a late night last night, but, but I'm all right.
No, it's exciting because it's our first kind of a show where we have a co-host. And so I'm going to kind of get things started, but we're producing this here together with John, who runs Tales of the Second City. And we are with Beth and Cameron from Birmingham, and they're from an organization, Kings N Things, and they are drag kings in Birmingham. How are you both?
We're very well, thank you.
Very good.
Having a lovely Monday morning.
I love this. You know, you're just FYI, I've interviewed a few drag queens, but you are our very first drag kings that we've had on the show.
Oh, wow. Wonderful. That feels like an achievement. Thank you very much for having us.
But no, it's exciting, especially from the outside, outside of the UK, as well as just even those that are outside of Birmingham. But you perform. I've seen you through your Facebook page and so forth, but you both do an amazing drag cabaret. I know Sunday nights are one of them at the Fox, and that's in Kent Street, which I guess is the center and the kind of the heart of LGBT life there in Birmingham.
Well, Birmingham is absolutely overflowing with drag shows and gay venues that will, queer venues that will happily host a number of different kind of cabarets and variety shows. But we specifically like the Fox because it is a very it's a small venue, but it's filled with a lot of heart. You can get a lot of crowds in there, and when you get the whole crowd going, it's just as good as any club, in my opinion.
It's always felt like a community space as well, I think, for us.
Yeah, it's really important to have these kind of shows in safe spaces as well, because when you're representing, a kind of underrepresented part of the queer community, it's important to host that in a space where people feel comfortable enough to maybe come there and try it themselves.
For sure.
It's interesting you mentioned the audience. One of the things I actually love about the performances is, of course, what's going on stage. But actually, I just look around the space, and it absolutely inspires me. It's such a diverse audience, isn't it?
Yeah, no, truly. You'll have, people who are just kind of starting out drag and want to just, see what it's about. And then you'll have, queers who have been on the scene for absolutely years that will come up to us and be like, you're the first drag kings we've seen and we absolutely love it. And that's the kind of special moments where you can look at the crowd and go, we're doing something right here. Like, there's something that's palatable to everyone that we've managed to achieve in this show.
Yeah. So, if I talk about the Kings N Things shows, and I do tell a lot of people about, I think they're brilliant and inspirational. The term I use the most is avant-garde. How do you explain them to people?
Avant-garde makes us sound very sophisticated. Some of the silliness that I do is not avant-garde. I've got a number where I dress up as Shrek, and part of the shock factor of that number is eating a raw onion live on stage. Like, it's not avant-garde. Well, is it avant-garde? Oh, you're making me question it now.
Good. I think some of the actors are quite challenging as well, actually. They challenge perspective and perception. Last night there was one performer who's a wheelchair user, who then brought on death. The figure of death came to the back of the audience. You don't see that at many drag shows.
Absolutely. I mean, to be for context, a lot of what people understand about drag at the moment is given to them by a certain show that a lot of people watch. And unfortunately, the drag that we do and that we like isn't represented in a lot of what the mainstream is. So to have Kings N Things be the place where, 1 month we could be doing a ballad and the next week we could be like,
eating tins of beans.
Yeah, no, chugging tins of beans on the stage. It's it's important to show people that drag can be literally anything that you want it to be. It doesn't have to be polished. It doesn't have to be choreographed. You know, some of the best performances that I've seen have had moments of improvisation that weren't meant to happen, but made it that extra special kind of thing. So I guess in the umbrella term of avant-garde being something out of the ordinary and something.
Yeah. And I mean, when we started the show, we've always wanted it to be the kind of the voice for the underrepresented. That was the whole point.
Yeah. The first
really
year of the, sorry.
I was just saying that really does come across actually.
Yeah.
The first year that we were performing at the Fox, we had this like plan kind of running order that we wanted and how many performers we wanted, and it was all really exciting, and we wanted to try and fit as many people as we could in, because we were like, there are so many people that we know that haven't performed yet that we could do this. But obviously at that time we were brand new on the scene. We had a little budget,
tiny little budget.
Yeah, a tiny little budget, and for the first year of it we didn't pay, because we wanted to make sure that the people that we were booking were getting a little bit closer to what we thought they deserved, because we couldn't give people what we, you know, what
the money,
the understanding of what a good amount of money is for a drag performance, you know what I mean? So over the 3 years we've worked really hard to make sure that everyone's treated equally when they come perform with us. You know, we don't get paid more than anyone else. You know, sometimes we get paid less than other people because we'll pay for people's travel to come from Manchester or something like that. And it's important to put out good things into the community rather than like see it as a, ooh, we've got a show, you know, do you know what I mean? It's not something to brag about, it's something to continue working hard at.
Sure.
Yeah.
So last night was your 3rd anniversary, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Do you have a special celebration afterwards? Or before?
Sort of. I mean, for context, last night's show, we swapped drag personas, and part of that is an in-joke from the many years that we've been doing drag now, where for some reason people can't tell the difference between us. We get confused a lot.
And I think it's partly just that thing of like, oh, you know, the king, that one.
Oh yeah, I saw a drag king the other week, so you must be that drag king. Do you know what I mean? Like, okay. And so that was a little nod to that. And the fact that it was an entirely king show as well. Well, I mean,
that's not special.
It's always been for like not queens, essentially. We have had queens on the show and stuff, but you know, it's always been to fit a theme or something like that, and we always make sure that, you know, it's kind of
like
one queen.
the majority of our performers are not the kind of the mainstream.
Yeah.
Well, swapping the names over certainly confused me last night, because I came up to you, didn't I, Beth? I went, oh, I'm really sorry, I thought your character was Christian Grey, and you're like, no, hang on. Knowing full well we'll be doing this today, I thought, oh, I've got my research completely wrong.
Yeah. It's a good thing we didn't change the colour of the little stripes that we've got, because then it would have completely thrown everyone off.
Oh. You're like Ant and Dec, aren't you? You've got to stand on the same side as each other so people don't get confused. You know who you are.
We are the Ant and Dec of Birmingham.
I will take that.
Birmingham gay scene.
Oh, fully. We've done Let's Get Ready to Rumble as well.
Can I just ask you about your drag personas? How did they come about, and how have they evolved over the 3 years?
I mean, you have more of an origin story than me, I suppose.
Okay, I started drag in 2017 with a burlesque group in Leicester, because I was a bartender at the venue that they used to do their shows at, and just got a really good rapport with them and stuff. And after one too many tequilas, they were like, oh, you should come do a show one day. And I was like, the only way you'd get me to do that is if I could do it in drag. And they were like, yeah, go on then. So originally it was just a bucket list idea thing that I wanted to do one time, just to say, oh, I've done this thing. And the show was it's like a movie themed show, and at that time 50 Shades of Grey had just come out. So one of the girls that I was partnered with agreed to do this like number with me, this 50 Shades of Grey number, and purely for the fact that I thought I was going to do it the one time, I called myself Christian Gay. And 5 years later it's still Christian Gay. But after
it's
that,
such a good name. It's such a good name. I'm amazed no one had jumped in there first. It's perfect.
I think it's for me it's a very good representation of my drag, because it's this like meant to be suave character with just that little bit of silliness in, just that little bit of stupid, like that's very much my character. But over the kind of 2018 to 2020 period, I'd done a couple of competitions in Birmingham, and there weren't any kind of like performing kings on the scene at that time. If there were kings, they were kind of just doing makeup at home or something like that. And I got to the finale in 2018 of Church of Waishi's competition, which is a competition for any drag to enter. They host weekly heats, and then there's a semi-final, and then there's a finale. They can win a grand. It's an amazing competition, and it gives so much opportunity and experience to people. Like we'll always big up Waishi for that competition. But I got to the finale, and from there I just kind of slowly started getting booked in Birmingham, and like once people kind of started recognizing my drag a bit more, that's when we approached Andy at the Fox. Well, I say we like there is Origin coming as well that will fill that in. But yeah, basically then we got the gig at the Fox, and from there it's just kind of been exploring how far I can go in a performance in drag, because I see Beth and Christian as very much like different people. Christian to me is like my superhero who I can jump into, and I can escape the real world and be ridiculous and get celebrated for it. So that's where he is. And Cam,
I was gonna say it makes much more make any sense. So at that finale of the Church of Waishi competition in 2018, me and my partner at the time went to see that show, because we were like, oh, this is going to be great. We were just starting to like go out in the Birmingham scene and kind of meet a few drag people, and we really loved it. We were like, oh, that's going to be great, we'll get to see loads of people. And we were like astounded when there was suddenly a king on stage, and we were like, oh my god, like, because we'd seen a bunch of drag kings on Instagram, and we'd gone to London a couple of times to see specific king shows, but there hadn't been anything outside of London that we'd seen really. So we got to this final and saw Christian on stage doing his thing, and I was like, that's so cool, I want to start doing this, like this looks like so much fun. And basically we just started turning up places until we became friends with you.
yeah I was in a competition that was like weekly at that time, and from like this I was in it for 10 weeks, and from the second week to the 10th they came every single week, and you know
we just got on like house on fire.
He just instantly became my best friend. And that's when we kind of identified the very big lack of diversity in the shows at Birmingham at that time. And just
because I was like, how do I start in drag? Like, I want to give it a go. And you were like, essentially like, I don't know, there's nowhere around here that books kings. So then the idea came from that we should, well, we're like, you know, if there's nowhere doing it, why don't we make a place that does it? And so my very first performance in drag was at our residency at the Fox, because we just went, yes, we're all drag kings. We've performed before.
Give us the space. Like,
and that's the best way to get any job. Just say, yeah, I got a load of experience, and go for it.
Yeah.
It's probably a good step over the years.
And it seems to have worked out quite well.
Yeah, you've done loads of really cool stuff since, haven't you? You've done,
Yeah.
I mean, you were in the same show as Tia Coffee.
For Mother's Meeting,
Yeah.
Another one of the excellent shows in Birmingham that we will always hype up.
Yeah.
And I think my drag persona has always been a bit more like, you know, gentlemanly than Christian.
I will agree to that.
I think I've always been a bit more of a theatre kid. My drag tends to be a little less
messy.
Yes. I was going to try and describe that nicer for you, but messy works.
So we've talked about the origins of Kings N Things, and we've discussed where you are now at 3 years in. What's the plan for the future? Where do you see this going?
Well, Kings N Things is a format that we could pretty much take anywhere if they wanted it.
Yeah.
We do have a show at the Loft.
Yes, we do.
What date?
May the 12th?
Question mark.
I think it's May the 12th. There is another queer venue in Birmingham called the Loft that does on a Thursday night. They do like a kind of cabaret. It's like a brunch, but at night time, I suppose, like a dinner cabaret sort of thing. And the lovely manager of the Loft has asked Kings N Things to do like a little takeover for that night.
Yeah, I do very good food at the Loft as well, so good night all round.
They do indeed.
But yeah, if there was ever an opportunity where someone approached us and said, hi, we want you to put on a show, it's an hour and a half, we would fully be able to just be like, yep,
yeah,
we've got it. And not even just in the style of like, oh, the three of us will come up and do a couple of numbers. If it's like, you know, more of like a Hindu crowd or something, we've got party games, and you know, the lip sync for your liquor game that we play is transferable across any show, because
yeah, for sure,
it's just something that is silly and everyone has fun doing.
You did an Easter egg hunt last night.
Yes. We did do an Easter egg hunt last night.
What were you going to say?
Oh, I was going to say, I think something we've briefly discussed in the past but would love to do is like, we'd love to do a little tour of like taking Kings N Things on the road.
Oh yeah,
like we'd love to go around a few different cities in the UK and, you know, do a Kings N Things elsewhere, but achieving that is going to take some logistics for sure.
I mean, I'm very much going to speak from the heart for a moment.
No, go for it.
We have worked hard in so many different ways over the years, because it's not just doing the shows at the Fox once a month. It's like when the lockdown happened, you have to be able to maintain your you know, your drag brand, your you know, your essence of your drag digitally somehow. So Victor over lockdown became an absolute tech wizard and, you know, was on it with the video editing and making sure it was captioned so it was still accessible, so we were still staying true to what we want from drag shows. And, you know, we created this silly Taskmaster spin-off called Kings N Things School for Drags, with very specific talents, where we got drag people that we knew to do a bunch of silly tasks that we had given, that we hand wrote, wax sealed, given them, sent into the post, and, you know, put together a Taskmaster style show where the audience could also PayPal £1 to vote for their favorites, and all of the money from that was split between all of the people that competed in it. And it's always about adapting to what's the next thing. You know, we could do a drag king competition in Birmingham, because again, London has a lot of scene and a lot of competition for anyone to enter, really, but London's also a very far away place, so a specific Kings N Things kind of competition or something like that would be fun.
Thought about doing for a long time.
Yeah.
Well, what you've achieved in the last 3 years is brilliant and original and inspirational. And thanks for coming along to share some of your story with us. I also love looking around that space on a Sunday night and thinking, this is everything the Daily Mail readers would hate.
Oh,
And I
yes.
love it. I love it.
It's the best review of Kings and Things I've ever heard. Can we please put that in the bio on Instagram?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
100%. That's becoming part of the tagline now. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, I want commission.
Oh, I mean, 50p is what our budget would allow in commission. Go for it.
Yeah, bag of peanuts. I'm going to get that with that.
And a shot.
Oh, and a shot always.
Yes.
Oh, and a shot. There you go.
I think you all are amazing. I really can't wait until I do travel to the UK quite often. I haven't been there obviously for a couple of years with all the shutdowns, but next time I'm out there, and I've been to London, I've been to Manchester and so forth, but I've never been to Birmingham yet. So now I have a very strong incentive and reason to get there.
Oh, Matt,
Sundays are where it's at in Birmingham. It's Drag Central, and we'll give John some dates for the future so that you can plan around that.
I love this. But I would just say thank you again, reiterating what John said. Thank you so much for kind of sharing a bit of your story, and I very much look forward to being able to connect in the real world soon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It was so nice talking to you both.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Yeah.
So good. Coming back